Alright, so a really interesting development right now with CD Projekt Red. It seems that a really major data breach was discovered sometimes in the course of yesterday, and of course coming in with an official response from CD Projekt Red over on Twitter just moments ago. We will discuss that in this video, but what's up everybody, welcome back to some more Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay and news. Today we have a really big data breach that unfortunately is affecting CD Projekt Red. It seems that full copies of the source code for games like Cyberpunk, Witcher 3, Gwent, and even an unreleased version of a Witcher 3 game were apparently acquired by some kind of leaker slash hacker alongside with a ransomware attack. And man, it seems that CD Projekt Red simply can't catch a break. But let's jump right into it with the announcement right here, which comes officially from CD Projekt Red's official Twitter account. So yesterday we discovered that we have become a victim of a targeted cyber attack, due to which some of our internal systems have been compromised. An unidentified actor gained unauthorized access to our internal network, collected certain data belonging to the CD Projekt Capital Group, and left a ransom note, of course the content of which we released to the public, and we will read that in just a little bit. Although some devices in our network have been encrypted, our backups remain intact. We have already secured our IT infrastructure and begun restoring the data. We will not give in to the demands nor negotiate with the actor, being aware that this may eventually lead to the release of the compromised data. We are taking necessary steps to mitigate the consequences of such a release, in particular by approaching any parties that may be affected due to the breach. We are still investigating the incident, however at this time we can confirm that, to our best knowledge, the compromised systems did not contain any personal data of our players or users of our services, which is actually really good news. At least we don't have to change any passwords or get secure access to our other personal data. But we have already approached the relevant authorities, including law enforcement and the president of the Personal Data Protection Office, as well as IT forensic specialists, and we will closely cooperate with them in order to fully investigate this incident, of course, end of quote right here. But yeah, I was kind of half expecting for CD Projekt Red to get attacked at some point in one way or another, and it seems that yeah, it did eventually happen. But at the same time we do have the ransomware note that the apparent hacker or group of hackers have left behind, and it's half trollish as well, but it is as real as it gets, so I will go over the more relevant parts, especially this one right here where it mentions that they have gained full copies of the source codes for games like Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, Gwent, and surprisingly enough there's also a mention at the end for an unreleased version of Witcher 3 with 3 exclamation marks. So we will talk about that in just a little bit, but in the meantime it seems that the hackers have also gained access to, of course, documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. And at the end they are fully prepared to leak all of this online if there's no agreement to be met. So your source codes will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the drain even more, and people will see how bad your company really functions. Investors will lose trust in your company, and the stock will dive even lower. You have about 48 hours to contact us, end of quote right here. So a really big and bold claims, I will not lie, these are some really big threats. Hopefully nothing comes out of this, because we're also talking about at least a few hundred employees who would definitely lose their jobs, who would definitely be affected by this entire situation if the entire company goes down. So hopefully they manage to stabilize themselves, get everything sorted out, and just be done with it, because I just want to see the game performing well, getting those updates, and hopefully get past this entire ordeal. But the one thing that really caught my attention was that unreleased version of Witcher 3 being mentioned right there. So chances are that this is that next generation of the Witcher 3 game that was announced in the middle of last year. So The Witcher 3 is coming to the next generation was the announcement back in September of 2020 by CD Projekt Red. A visually and technically enhanced version of the game will be available to purchase for the PC and the next generation of consoles, or as a free update to owners of the game already on the PC, Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So if you already own the game, you would get it for free as simply an update, which actually sounds interesting. It also begs the question, does this come with something more than just a visual upgrade? Because by the looks of it, the leaker is making a pretty big deal out of it with those 3 exclamation marks right there. Or maybe it could just be a different version of Witcher 3, but I really doubt that would be the case. Totally let me know down below if you're excited for a remaster of The Witcher 3, and if so, which are the things that you would like to see in that? Is it graphics updates, or on the other hand, do you want to see more technical upgrades like to the physics engine, to the combat, which might or might not feel a bit outdated, not too much, it depends on your playstyle, but it could definitely use a few improvements here and there. Totally let me know of your opinion in the comment section down below. But on the other hand, there's also some really big implications when it comes to releasing entire source codes for these games online, especially since at least one of the games from CD Projekt Red, which is Gwent in this case, does have an online component, because this can pave way towards potential exploits that might or might not affect the game's servers, which in turn could give access to hackers to players' computers in one way or another. There's of course other ways in which cheats or entire hacks could be created, both for the online and the offline, which can or cannot ruin players' experiences. This is mostly of course for online games, but we do know that Cyberpunk 2077 is planned to have a multiplayer component at some point, so that in theory could be affected by a full data breach like this. Of course, also keep in mind that the game already had a pretty big vulnerability by default, especially when you would install mods, because it was discovered previously that hackers could gain access to your entire computer if you used certain mods that were not verified. Of course, the modding scene came into CDPR's help, they also patched that really quickly, and then we also had the hotfix a few days later that fixed all of that. I'm just saying that there's already avenues of reaching that point, so having the source code online will spell even more trouble than help for everybody who is playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now. But on a final note, there's a pretty big uproar in the community right now, because it seems that the commitment post from the official website doesn't exist anymore, and I think that people just didn't bother to check out. Yes, when you check that page, now it gives an error 404, but that's because it seems that the entirety of the news section on the main website has somehow been deleted. So at the very least, it seems that all of this has been unintentional. I don't think that CD Projekt Red themselves deleted this section of the page. It's all of it missing, so I'm pretty sure that it is tied in some way or another to the hack from yesterday. It might just be that this might have been the way in which the hackers got access to the servers, maybe through the website, and they also got the chance to delete something of it, or maybe because of the investigations, some parts of the websites are not working as properly as they used to. But rest assured that this is going to come back at some point, and I doubt that this was intentional in any way or another. But this is it with the news. Of course, CDPR getting hacked is not good news, but we have to report on it anyway. In the meantime, let me know what is your opinion on this entire situation down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.